I don't feel nice typing this. Honestly, I don't feel much at all now. After reading a post about someone sharing their experience, I felt compelled to share mine. No one knows about this, but I hope that after this, I can finally tell my family or friends. When I was 11 years old, my family and I went on a holiday trip to my parents' country, outside the US. It was a fun trip, except for one guy. He was the shopkeeper. A family friend, he was in his mid-30s to early 40s, and he was really funny and kind. My friends and I always chatted with him. Since he was married and had daughters, we felt comfortable around him. My mom knew him, my dad knew him. One day, my older sister and I were left at the house we were staying in. My entire family was at my grandma's house, cleaning the rental before we left. After we finished cleaning, my sister and I watched TV. I asked her to fetch me some snacks from the store. She did, and we ate, and then ate some more. We were hungry since we had woken up early without breakfast. Later, her friends came over. Some of them were my friends too, but my sister told me I couldn't go with them. I begged her to let me stay with her because I was nervous being alone, especially since I struggled with the native language. She insisted I'd be fine and left. After she went, I got hungry again. I scraped together some change and walked to the store for cookies. When I asked the shopkeeper for them, he looked down at me with his empty smile and asked, "Where are your friends or sister?" I shrugged and told him they were out, not thinking much of it. He smiled wider and said I had finished all the biscuits, then looked at my chest. I was only 11 and hadn't even started my period. But I shrugged it off. I said it was fine and turned to leave. Before I could, he grabbed my wrists and said, "First, give me a kiss, and I'll let you go." I started shaking my head weakly saying, "Let me go," in the native language. He didn't listen. He tried to kiss me and failed as I pressed my lips together. He groped me and held my waist, trying to push me onto the table. I cried, thinking I was gonna die. Then, a random stranger, no older than me, walked in. The shopkeeper got distracted, and I managed to pull my wrists free and ran away. I ran all the way home, inconsolable. I cried and cried. I found my sister in the other neighborhood and told her what happened. She nodded, held my hand, and we went back to the store together. She confronted him, but he downplayed it, saying he did it to everyone, and that I was overreacting, acting as if I was special. He even showed me photos of his nieces as proof, and casually mentioned that he wasn't married, as if that would help. My sister actually started to believe him. I was sexually assaulted and almost raped. I hated her for believing him. I cried and ran away from her. I started self-harming because of him. I didn't want any romance or boys in my life. I couldn't even look at my dad or brother the same way for years. I scrubbed and scrubbed where he touched me, but I still felt dirty. I lost sleep. I needed death. I needed to kill him. And to this day, I hadn't told anyone. Until now. I was 11, and I was assaulted and almost raped. This is just one of the times it happened, but I never told anyone. After posting this, I received a mix of messages. Some were kind, but others were sick. I couldn't believe people would call this traumatic event hot. I reported those messages. Why are some people so twisted? But then something changed. I found the courage to tell my parents, and I did, with my sister by my side. I made tea and sat my mom and grandma down. I told them everything. My grandma started crying and my mom panicked. She had experienced similar things and began to hysterically ask if it was my fault, why I was telling her now, and if I had been raped. We tried to explain calmly, but my mom got mad, and my grandma said I had dishonored myself and them. When my dad came home from work, I told him privately in another room. He hugged me and said I was brave. He promised to make sure the shopkeeper got what he deserved since he had government ties. He was a bit panicked, asking if the man had touched me anywhere and if I was still pure, which is a huge thing in our culture. I told him I was, and he seemed relieved. He reassured me that it wasn't my fault, regardless of what I was wearing. Other than that, it was okay. My mom and grandma didn't talk to me for 2 weeks, ignoring me and calling me names under their breath. But I felt a weight lifted. Thank you all for the kind words and support. I love you all. God bless.